Good evening, fellas. Back again. Can't stay away now. It's getting exciting. I've had a small little play around with the code while I was offline. Got it kind of working, but we've got more to do. It's not quite working. I left it up there as a little display. Looks like it's working. It's a teaser. Show you what I have got doing it. What it is doing right now. Okay. Still in a nightly. When we get this working, I'll copy it across to the main. So far, if you remember, I'd created this routine, which was very similar to our stall check, with the intention of pulling off this code. We did have this. I've deleted that and just put it in here. But ideally, and how I would have expected this to work was, it was checking through the lockers in IX. If it finds one that didn't meet any of them criteria, where that means a collision has not occurred, at that stage we check if it's up. I might get rid of that in a minute. And then we just decrease a heart. But what we do is we take the heart value, we check it's not 0 and return if it is, otherwise it's going straight to 255, because it goes from 0 to 255 when you decrease. Then we decrease. Now I'm getting baffled as to why this isn't working, and I'm honestly starting to think it's because of these 4s. And if I get really stuck, I'm going to change it to 5s, or I might even change it to 14 and then just pretend 10 is 0, which seems ridiculous, but it happened to us before. So anyway, as you can see, it should take 1 heart out per frame. This is the problem. So it should just quickly take all the hearts, and it will also set that to pink. It never gets set back, so as soon as we get 1 collision, that happens. Now that all to me looks fine, other than these need to be not commented out. Another thing to bear in mind is we didn't set a bool last time. Well, we did, but I mean, we needed to cache an ID of what desk we were at, what stall we were sitting at. For some reason, we couldn't just use it directly like this. I really don't know why. It appears that you can use it directly. I mean, whoops. This is what happens anyway. So there you go, it's working correctly. But weirdly enough, only for them 4. Now, if you just recall, just behind that screen, oh, still at the start soon thing. Just behind that screen, which I'll just close, I commented out all the Y stuff. So I would have expected both sets of lockers to get emptied that are in line, to be honest then. But they don't for some reason. So I find that a bit odd. But more odd than that, because I don't find that odd in the fact that that's working as I expected it to, because IX points at a specific locker. I can't get them out of here though. I wonder if I haven't already emptied them. Ah, there we go. So there is some weird stuff happening. But that might actually get solved when we sort out this Y code. because I'll forget making it just so that only one heart comes and you have to press F. So it really is just a case of doing this right now. I mean, if you look on this, I've said that they have to be exactly in line on X. Y is slightly different. I think I'll just rewrite it. We do want to add an offset because it's never going to be able to be that level. I think don't forget this is to find if it's not colliding. Alright, why not? So if A is smaller than B, so I think I'll just do that actually. So I want B to be, I want A to be the small one, and I want that to contain the locker. A to be the small one. That's 20. So I do want to add the locker height as well. Don't have that. Well, the good thing is it's not exactly the same as the code that didn't work, so Doesn't look good. For a minute, let's get rid of the facing up part as well. Oh. If there's a comment above, I'd like to comment that like that. Oh, it's colliding there. So I think I've moved it too far up. Seems way too far up though. No. Ah. Alright. So that seemed to go the other way again, didn't it? Yes. Be tricky debugging level 11 when we're like this, but we'll have to come up with a way. Oh, excellent. You still can't remove the top ones though. What a pain. And it still does it up. There's something else going wrong, isn't there? What an absolute pain. That's a tough one to figure out. I'm thinking at the moment, the only thing I can think of to fix it, to even attempt to fix it, is put an ID on here. This is daft, but let's just try it before we go any further. And then if it's 0, I mean if it's 10, we'll look at anywhere we will look for it to be 0, we need to look for it to be 10. It's going to be a right pain because even in the drawing code we're going to check for that. We'll be checking for it probably to be, maybe not. Let's just see what that does then. If this works, my head is blown. No. Something to do with the Y, I guess. Puzzling. Oh, okay. So B contains the desk top, locker top. That's way too high up. Yeah, that's way wrong. It actually looks alright to me. Very, very odd. That's weird. That is very, very, very weird. Why would that happen? It's almost as if it's got this data wrong. If this makes a blind bit of difference, I'll be shocked again. Weird. Just wonder out of interest now. Change all of these. It's flipping weird that. I don't think it's anything to do with the hitbox. That's why we haven't got height. It's already in there, isn't it? That's even weirder. So the hitbox starts in the wrong place. It's all the way down here. Which of course is the greater number. So I think that's technically impossible for us to collide now. You missed the opener. You haven't missed much at all, Micro. I'm struggling here. I've got it working a tiny bit, like in that we proved that the collision detection is getting called at the right time. There's some weird problem happening here. Oh, that worked okay. But we can't get these ones. See, it gets the ones above. And why not that one as well, you know? There is definitely something weird happening, because the way I just set this one here, it should be technically impossible for us to get a collision now. Damn, this is a tough one. I can't tell whether it's the code in here. If you remember last time, we had to set up like an ID for the desks so it knew what stall it was on. And then separately we had to make it take that heart with the same ID. But I really don't know why we would have to do that. I also tried changing them away from 4 just in case, but I'm going to change them back. Which means change them back. And that back. So it's working other than that. Return if player Y is less than locker Y. I have this problem almost every time, and then I figure it out eventually. I had a problem doing this with the desks and the stalls. I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and see if it triggers it. Yeah, it does though. It's just something weird happening. You know, why is it not triggering for the others as well? So weird. Okay, I'll keep them there because it does give us a bit more debugging room. Damn it. I guess the only thing I can do is try this ID thing I've got, this idea. Just start from 50 or something, sod it. Just to avoid all that other confusion from earlier. Right, if we look at level 1, where did we keep it? Perhaps it was in the player. Hearts collected is fine because that gets reset every level. We can use the same one. Current heart seat, that was what it was. So I had like current locker ID. But then what did we do with that? Forget really. Oh, we just store it there when we get the collision. Somewhere collect heart gets called. And it again compares, goes through all the array. So it's like another one, it's one of them arse about face ways of doing the same thing. Yeah, that's what I said as well. It's like they're using the incorrect XY. I mean, firstly, to make sure that game doesn't, that crash, that change I just made doesn't crash the game. Change it to 6 for now because I haven't changed it. Shouldn't really hurt anything now, it can stay there. Player. I can't imagine why it gets the wrong XY. It always skips to next, which increments the pointer. Like we've done it hundreds of times before now. It seems to work, but I do run into these problems. But I most definitely set that. I think it's even in this function. No, it's in the level too. No, it is the player. Here. Ignore that, that's a load of rubbish. I was doing that before. So there's really no reason for it to be put at the wrong thing. I'm going to have to just match up what I did with the stalls. Because we did have this similar problem with the stalls. That's strange as hell, that. Because if I go above this, it doesn't collect any. So that's purely working fine, isn't it? But underneath. But it could be nothing to do with the hitbox we've just made. It could be some other problem with the loop. Because I did have this problem, like I say, and the stupid way I fixed it was this ID thing. So every time we collide with a locker now, a locker trigger, I'm going to copy that really. Let's copy it, sod it. And then I could collect hearts straight away. The difference with that one is hearts was a separate array altogether, whereas this one, the heart actually is part of the locker. It shouldn't need this IY thing because, like I say, it's the same array. But the ID is IX plus 5, the last thing on the array. Somewhere in locker heart, collect locker heart. I may as well copy what we had before. I see, that's going through each array looking for the ID. So it's probably not going to work for us. God, I just had an idea, don't forget it now. Yeah, this this, right, except for what we'll do is, just to be super sure, because we've already had a collision, we're going to return out anyway. We'll load IX with level 2 lockers. Call collect locker heart. This has now been filled with the correct one. So we'll find the locker that has that that ID and remove one from that only. Like I said, it seems asked about face, but for some reason it worked when the other version didn't. So that's just doing the same old stuff. Looking for the end. Probably have to ignore that thing below for now. If it's 0, it's going to want to go next. Probably wasn't necessary that, because in fact, let's do not equal. Change this to can we use it? Can we use that? Because if we can, that'd be great. If it's not equal to the current locker, look for the next locker. Which just means load DE with locker length. Jump all the way to the start. So it's just here now, we have found it. That's that bit in it. And then return. And that's just getting called from there during a collision. Let's bring back the facing up thing. So I fail to see how that does anything different, but other than check this ID that we cache, rather than just going directly to the correct one which we're already pointing at. So I fear this ain't gonna work. But it might do. Looks like a non-existent instruction. So you can't do that. So I don't think we can do that. We have to load A. Load A with current blocker ID. Load BA. Compare B. Should be fine. I don't think B was being used. Okay, that's no good. Oh, we've got a collision then. No hearts got removed. Interesting. that wouldn't help. Obviously we want the ID. I'm used to having it at the front of the data, the bit we look at. Still not working. Tell you what, get rid of that up, facing up thing. So it'll just collide, and actually set border. I think we can get away with just setting border blue here. So it'll only go pink for a moment as we collide. Oops, didn't compile. If I have to spend too long on this, I'm probably just going to stop and draw some teachers and that. Oh look, the collision occurred. And the collision's occurring there as well, that's quite interesting. But it seems like it's still with that same one. As a really stupid debug, I could do something like comparing the ID. If I say like, that's the bottom row. So if I say if it's less than 54, the ID, go green, or go pink, because we've already got them pink. If it's more than 50, if it's 54 or more, go blue. Or pink, or whatever, yeah, you get the picture. And also I'm going to double check, is it definitely +5? I think it is. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So, if it's less than, go pink. But if it's more than, go green. Kind of micro, but I don't use it. I'll show you. I've got several of them, but oh, you can't even see the window. That's a bit of a pain. I'll quickly show it. Do you mean like that? But look, single step doesn't take you a single step. I don't get it. Doesn't even move the program forward. It's just crap, if you ask me. That is, I don't get any use out of it. I can figure out in other ways, you know, if it's in the right location or not. But, I mean, I'd love to be able to get use out of it, see what's going on. But yeah, one instruction at a time. But I mean, I've sat there before and I've had games where I've instructed sprites to just fall from the top of the screen, yeah, one after the other. And I press single step, none of them move. I could press it 1,000 times, none of them move until I then press continue. So I don't really see the point in it, but you know, I'm thick. I'm not. Obviously, if you're a pro, you read this and you know exactly where you're going to look. But another thing is, you click that. How do I go to? You know, do they expect me to scroll through every memory address? If I want to look for OXA, I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? What about if I want to go to OX99 now? It's impossible. I've been there before trying to scroll through. It takes me hours. I can figure things out quicker just by like trial and error. setting breakpoints. That's, yeah. I mean, linked to that, I'd like to be able to produce values and turn them into strings. So that would be the ultimate way of doing that, if you ask me. But to answer your question is no, I don't do that because I just don't get, it takes me longer to debug things doing it in that way. But that's just me. Keep getting messages from somewhere. Twitter. I've never had any messages from Twitter, and now I'm getting loads. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, by all means, what would I check here in that debugger? What would I want to look for? Where does this sit in memory anyway by default? I wouldn't have a clue. Like you say, breakpoints. I think there's a breakpoint here. You can. I'm sure I've managed to do that before, but like this isn't linked to Fuse in any way, so I don't see how that would work. But yeah, when I'm writing any other language where you've got the IDE has all that built in, and you just write debug logs and that, of course I use that. So write git. It's very close to being working already, isn't it? It's just something, and you can't. It is really hard to tell what it is that's causing it. I'd say that what I just added was all gobbledygook. It wasn't actually needed with all that ID and that. I mean the setting the border color achieves the same thing as a breakpoint in a way. If it's just to see whether you're reaching that point. And when. Yeah, I would love that. Well, as I say, if I could print values to the screen, that would be all I need because I've got an ID. It could just print that flipping ID. But that goes back to where I got stuck on the other day, where it was printing the numbers on this screen isn't going to work. We've got to come up with another way. And the way I've come up with that is basically creating a font myself, which is sprites, and having obviously a memory address. It's just a certain offset then. Well, it's a whole thing's a diversion now, isn't it? I am lost. I am very lost. The reason I'm lost is I feel like this is bang on, and if for some reason IX is messing up. I wonder then, just out of curiosity, if I put all these on the same level. Oops. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Solid. Right, a whole row of them. Might not be able to get in though. I'll have to deal with that if that happens. Can't remember where the door is. So can I now clear all of them? Oh, it's going green. It's only going green, isn't it? So only them. Look, have you noticed it's missing the middle ones? There's something wrong with the array. Because another little thing then. These were the ones that I couldn't collide with. And they were up high. Let's just see if we put them at the start of the array. I mean, is there a chance that it's not even getting to the end of the array? That it just can't manage it? I don't know. Okay, well we knew the hearts weren't going to disappear because I'd done something that made them not disappear. But I bet you them top ones would have vanished this time. Look at that weird stuff as well, look. That line has followed it. So it's not a double buffer. The damn cat coloured it in. Let me fix it so it takes the hearts again. I hate having that locker ID thing though if we don't need it. It's really annoying. Do we ever decrease the heart? What's going on? So if it's already 0, we don't need to decrease it anymore. If it's not, decrease it and put it back in where you found it. Sprite data corrupted. Something's happened. It's bloody weird, yeah. It's gone beyond my understanding now. Okay, still the top one, even though I shuffled them around. Oh, at least get them now. Hang on, this could be working. It's just the offset that's wrong now. I've got to switch them back around just to have a look at whether that's two is the same. That was too weird. What I mean by that is I've got to just switch this array around again how it should be. Because how can that make so much difference? They're just different position values, that's all. And a different ID. And the ID is nonsense, it shouldn't need it. That's what the pointer's there for. But at least it enables us to, like, in one loop, read the collision, and then in any other loop we can act upon it later if we know what ID it was. It's not look, it's mucking up. The direction of the array, or the ordering of the array seems to affect the entire gameplay. Dots vanish when collecting hearts. Yeah, because they were part of the heart, yeah, for sure. I think it's in the act of drawing the locker and then so quickly drawing the heart over it. That must be what's causing... Oops, I just closed the thing by mistake. But I failed to take on board why this makes any difference whatsoever, but I think it does. Because we now find that just the offset's broken, which we can change just by changing a number. So we want to reduce the offset that does the height of the locker. Why does that work? That's the flipping weirdest thing ever, and it sort of happened to us with that number 4 thing on the last array as well. Would you go through the data in that array? Explain each byte? Certainly. Is that this? If so, I'm expecting that you are talking about that. That is the number of hearts. Let's label it from now on. So if you ever see me write data format, that's what I mean. And then I'll just do num hearts. That's how many remain in the locker. Then the X position in bytes. X pos in bytes. Y pos in cells. No, in pixels, sorry. So that's in cells and that's in pixels. That's quite important to remember. That's why it's much bigger than that. You know, because it's 8 times the size. The next one's width in bytes. I'll put cells. Let's change it to cells. It's easier, isn't it? And height, pixels, which you could also think of as scan lines. The last one's the ID. Could be anything as long as it's not the same as another one. And as long as it's under 256. And it's nonsense, I'd love to get rid of it. It seems so stupid because we're already pointing there, iterating through each one. But then for some reason I have to go in, go along 5, grab its ID, cache that, then go into another loop immediately afterwards, check through every single one, find the one with that ID, and then decrease the heart. And that's stupid, it seems to me, and I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. But it's kind of working now, because if I just change the offset on, I think this one even, maybe this one, and let me have a good think about this. I hope you understood the bytes of that array anyway. They're pretty straightforward, and it's one of the first things I learned in assembly that really broke the ice for making games on my own. Learning how to do that with data, you know, sort it out in that nature, especially on this Z80, because you've got that IX register to help you iterate through it. Without them, I would have been lost. I'd have still been there, like making like locker 1, locker 2, locker 3, and just putting all their positions in manually, you know, calling everyone for collision manually. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't even explain the DB thing. Yeah, that's the same as writing def B, or there's a few little ways you can write that. I think you can write def B, or don't know, something like that. Anyway, test def B. I think def B. Yeah, DB is just better, isn't it? They're the same thing. I didn't explain at the end. I will just quickly. I'm sure you did get the picture. The 255 there. You'll notice the very first one is, and it can never be 255 on any of them. So then at the very start of the loop, you just check if it's 255 and get out. That's why I do that every time. Sometimes I forget to put that and I get messed up thinking, what's wrong? And I'm there for ages, and then I realise it was that, but this is definitely theirs. So it seemed to me it was never going pink. So it's a little bit worrying. I have forgotten what I was doing. I was about to do something pretty simple. I'm gonna have to just load up the game and see if I can remember. Oh, I was just going to remove the offset, wasn't I? If I already did move it, it felt a bit better, but not good enough. I don't think I changed anything, did I? Well, I can't visualize it very well at the moment, but I'm going to try just not adding that and see what happens. That seemed pretty solid. Still, you can still go bloody close. Flipping weird, man. Let's try and see, but I want them all to be less than ones. The calculations. Ha! That does it the other way now. Well, that's a good sign, actually. Yeah, I quite like that. We're on the right track here. I mean, if we wanted to come from the behind, it would work pretty goddamn sweetly now. Of course, we've got to come up with a way of only taking one heart when you press F, and then somehow getting out of this and making it so you've got to leave the collision and come back, or at least press F again, not just hold it in. But that's a different ball game, a different problem. This one's nearly solved now. I'm pretty sure we just need to tweak. Let's try that. Like I keep saying though, I need to switch them around. So maybe I need to switch this A and B around. Maybe that's what I've got wrong. Okay, you can still do it from the back. That's no good. Oh, you can do it from the right place there though. Interesting. We're damn close now. We're interacting with the right locker every time. So I'm convinced it's nothing to do with IX being wrong or anything. His hair can collide with the upper locker. He can never go into. It's impossible for him to go into that the sort of lid of the locker. None of his sprite can. But the rest of it, obviously, you can walk in front of it. It gives you the appearance of 3D, doesn't it? It's not gonna, doesn't block you from doing that. I just wonder. Let's just try. Sometimes it's quicker just to keep trying things when you're at this stage, I think. Trying the combos. This time I've made the player B. So instead of reversing that, I've just reversed it. Shouldn't really do anything. It should be the same as it was a short while ago. Like, i.e. worse than what we just had. Although, that's pretty good. It's perfect. Sometimes you get stuck up on the most stupid thing. What I got stuck on there, and I believe almost every time, is I'd somehow put player A and got it mixed up which one I wanted to be the smallest one. It seemed like it was that straightforward, yeah. Because when I realised that when I changed that to NC, which is more than, and it's kind of worked, and that's what made me figure out, hang on, maybe they need to be flipped. Because what I was doing was adding stuff, and it was doing the reverse of what I thought it was going to. In the end, my tiny brain, the cogs just turned a little bit. I still don't think it's perfect. I'm going to play it again and try and like see exactly when we snap to the collision, like when the collision snaps on. Let's go for the top one. Because if you remember, we were going to the top and it was removing the bottom. Vice versa, sorry. No, perfect. Right, okay, how close can we get before it starts? Just one step, which is 4. That's brilliant. I'm not sure which one to change out of these two. Just going to try and figure that out. Well, I'll try that. Head scratcher. Hair gone. Oh, that's gone too far. So I think I changed the wrong one. I think a bit of trial and error is in order here. I can't actually figure it out. Someone with a clever brain could figure that out just by looking at it, I'm sure. That got slightly easier to collect it, I think. Or maybe the same. Weird how it's always one step. I actually like that the way it is. That means if the player's feet are above the top of the locker, there's no collision. So technically we should probably add more. Because we're actually talking about the trigger, aren't we? But I think it's fine. You can't even go any further down from the locker. It blocks you. and this time it's saying, is the locker almost the locker base smaller than the player's roof? So that's perfect, really. Let's try -8 on that. So it's just now adding 12 instead of 20. Repetition's going to help me a lot. I think I'm going to not fall for these gotchas soon when I make collisions, you know. Oh, it's gone the wrong way, look. Just from -8 it's gone that way. It's strange because that should be doing the sort of underside stuff. I'll try +8 though. I kind of enjoy the debugging in this manner. Right, that seems even worse again. So it seems that was bang on, really. Maybe I should do locker height, which is IX +4. Which shouldn't make a great deal of difference, although we were only talking about 4 pixels. And when we had it good, it was only one step away. You move it 4 times. I should have left it as it was. Right, it's even worse. Whoa. I don't get that. That really is odd, actually. What did I do? IX plus what? IX plus 4. 24. If player's head is greater than the locker base, no collision. It should be working, but that should only be affecting the other side of the, not the top of the locker. If locker's roof is larger than player's foot, that's also good. I really don't understand. What I would have thought would happen here is that there would be no collision, because we have another routine just above that blocks you from actually entering the collision box of that sprite, and this measures exactly that. I mean, I've looked at it about flipping 50 times. I'll try commenting it as well, that it might help. A equals player head. B equals it. Let's get rid of that. No comment too small. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. I'm a great believer in commenting almost every line as well, especially when you don't fully, when you like this, when you're stuck. I mean, I swear I understand every instruction there, but it just seems like it's just not working as it should. Because then, oh, of course, that's not the player head. That's the locker head. A equals player head plus his height. So he should be at the player's foot. Is A less than B? That's what that means. If player's foot is less than locker head, then the player is standing above the locker. So to me, that seems perfect. B equals player's head. A equals locker base, or locker foot. Again, I want A minus less than B. I could do the NC, but it makes a non-symmetrical box. It just annoys me. It's alright in this scenario with a trigger. Oh, next. It's funny this, because it was just a pixel out a minute ago. I'm pretty sure I could get back to that. It was just a case of adding an offset in instead of this. It was 20. So if A is less than B, player is above the locker. Locker's foot is a lesser value than player's head. Yeah, locker is above the player. That seems flawless to me. Why would that help? I don't understand. Okay, I cannot. Oh, I can reach it from the back still, which is most certainly no good. Okay. Why can't I reach it from the back then? Only when you get right up close to it. We have actually made a lot of progress. It's at least collecting from the right locker. Maybe I have to subtract that. That could be it. Player's head. So imagine the player's head is at 750. And then the locker's head is at 740. There's definitely no collision. Well, if we pretend that the locker's only 3 in height. But we want to add, yeah. We don't want to just subtract. That would make no sense. Alright, well this says they have to be in the same spot, surely, now. So this can never happen, surely. It's still going. How can that trigger it? It only triggers at the top now. That should always return out. That's bloody strange, that, I'm telling you. And that's the reason we can't figure it out. There's something weird happening. Is it because I let the player walk at 4 instead of 8? I'll just try NC again. If it works, I'm going to be happy with it. Alright. I can't get it at all now. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's actually pretty good. Just stabbing in the dark. Alright. No. Whoa, it's got all the way down there. Whoa, nearly. God. If I could only have a brain, Mr. Oz. No. What causes this trickery? Oh my god. We're adding quite a lot now, and it's still NC. Oh, there's so many little variables to change. No! Where the bloody hell did that go then? Down here. So close yet so far. You're the laughter of a madman. You've got your you got good hearing, good intuitive hearing. Oh dear, what's going on here? So whether I add or subtract, it seems to have the same effect. Oh, did you see how close I was earlier? Oh, hang on. Just try that. Because I'm convinced it should definitely be possible to do it with all disjunct C's. So all less thans. I knew that was going to happen. I'll go all the way down here. Does it collect the... Okay. So we're moving this offset up and down successfully. I just can't get it on the right flipping exact line. Whatever I did, it needs to go down from there. Or a greater number. The laughter of a madman. This stuff can drive you mad pretty quick, can't it? Yes, they are, yeah. So the player sprite is 24. So is the locker, actually. It's so funny, this. I'm gonna just go through every number here if I have to. Like, yeah, I'm be randomly selecting some numbers just on this one for a little while. Right, it can do it there. What? Hang on. So that's still too close, and also at the back is too messed up now. Head blown. Head completely blown. Like I say, the reason my head's so blown is this should make it impossible now to get a collision. I'm convinced the X part is absolutely fine. I notice here how I don't think it makes much difference, but I load the player in first on both occasions, so I have done it differently. I guess we just have to try and start again here. Only 5. D. It's the same as adding 20 like I was before, isn't it? But let's try it out. This again should be impossible because this code here blocks us from actually entering that zone. But that's pretty much the same, so I'll just delete that now. I'll have a look in a sec, mate. Okay, we can't reach it from the back. Excellent, we can't reach it. It's working. I think we just need to add a small offset now on the lower check. So let me try and figure this out. Hang on, sign 770. Oh, it's changed. But some of them are only 5, these offsets. But I ended up fiddling around, but it got it working. So they need to be tidied up. That's only the bounding box height. So what I'm saying there is I want only 5 pixels to actually be the size of his box. That was basically so that when you're a target pos, he can fit through a desk's. You know, his head doesn't block him walking past a desk. Anyway, let's just try and figure it out a sec. Right, I want locker offset y, which we're not using at all, to equal 8. Maybe even 4 or 5. Excellent. Still too close. Still too far away before it. I mean, it's not a big deal. It just means you can collect the heart a little bit easier than I would like. You still got to press the button when you're there, and you're not going to have a flashing border to tell you that you're colliding or anything. Let's try making it. Let's try making it 1 right there. So it's just 1 pixel from the bottom of the locker. That could be what it is. Okay, all good up there. Oh, you can't collect it. Alright, I'll go up to 5. Annoyingly, I have put into that calculation a player offset, like it's a bit mixed up. That's perfect now. Let me zoom in, I can't quite see it properly. You're not going to see. I'll demonstrate in a minute. It's perfect. And I'll demonstrate now. We are as near there as to the locker as you can get without being right next to it. Obviously ignore the little lines, I'm not fussed about them. I've seen them in commercial Spectrum games, let alone homebrew. Can't get any closer. So I'll nudge 1 walk down. Up. There we go. Finally we're there. Perfect. So in the real game, you have to hold F and press up, and you get to take 1 heart by doing that, and then you've got to let go of F and press up again. It's quite awkward for us to do, but we could probably do it. It's perfect right now. I mean, listen, even if the way it is, I don't mind it. Well, you don't even have to press the button. It's only a little fun game, you know. We're gonna have enemies chasing you, and it's quite annoying in the real game pressing F and up. It's really, really annoying, to be honest. I don't want that many lockers either. Good work, offset. Thanks, man. It's got really confusing, the offset, because they're a little bit cacked up. We like to get them working. I named them something, and then I just started changing them, so they didn't really make sense. But they kind of make sense. One day I'll go and change them, but not right now. So of course we can just add some conditions here now, like pressing F. The problem I've got is I personally don't have a clue how to distinguish between hold and F. I think there's got to be some way I've got to like wait for a release of the key to unset the ball or something like that. Like there's got to be a way of finding out if you've released the key. Because at the moment you'll be able to just hold F, take them. Which I guess is better than nothing. Let's make it so he has to look up and hold F. It should be as simple as just load A, key pressed F, compare true, return NZ. Brilliant. But yes, you can just hold the key. But it's better than nothing. You can't be sideways. You have to look at it. It's okay. It's not as good as, it's not as hard as the real Mikie game. And it took less work to code. We'll move the lockers about soon because there's actually less lockers. I want 2 less lockers and I want to move them. In fact, let's just look at them and I'll figure out where I want to move them to. So really he goes into a hallway. They shouldn't just skip to this level. Oh yeah, I was just looking at where I wanted to move them. So actually where they are is alright for the far end, the high ones, top ones. But I'm going to move the other 2 towards the centre a little bit. And that'll do. I'll keep the same amount actually. So I'll just delete that. Unfortunately at the moment we've got this ID. I could try and remove that ID while I've got the chance, while I can still remember what I've done. Let's do it. Let's try it without that ID. Just directly. Let's change that. Instead of all this collect heart thing, this whole thing. Instead of that, we'll just leave that there. Comment out all of that. So instead it just decreases a heart in here if it's not 0, and that's it. Let's get rid of that because that's about the ID, so we're not going to get the border colour change anymore. And then, well, we can just comment that out even though it's unnecessary. Collect locker heart, yeah, that's that. Lockhart ID, let's just comment that out. This would be great if this works. Like this is what I thought would happen in the first place. But one of the options to try and fix it was to do that ID rubbish, which was horrible. They're not there. Something's gone wrong. Damn. Have they all just been collected? Of course you can, man. I'm here to try and share some of my knowledge of what I do have. The game making particular games are just for fun anyway. I don't expect them to become masterpieces. But yeah, hang on, let me read your question. Good question, because I can't technically answer that, but I can tell you roughly what it is by having used them. That's exactly what it is. Where in memory it's stored. It's like creating a variable. Obviously they're constants. That's something completely different. But the dB just means define byte, and then you fit 1 byte of data in there. I mean, you can actually put more bytes. It'll just create more. You've just used up more than 1 byte there, you know. There's also DW, so if something's going to be a word. So some of my methods do need that. I think double buffering, where we stored a stack pointer, that's a 16-bit number, otherwise known as a word. So that would be a DW, and that sets aside 16 bits of space. I've seen them used interchangeably though. I've seen people using DB and putting 16-bit numbers in there. So I don't know whether that was just a mistake or whether I read it wrong. But that's my understanding of it anyway. Of course, on Stack Exchange and Wikipedia, there's lots about that, you know. But I think you had it right with the end. And so you put a label, and then you know, then define byte means that's a label of a byte. And you access them by putting brackets around it. That'll get the value. That's not the bracket that I'm talking about, but that'll get the value that's in that byte rather than the address. If you just put that, you'll get the address that points there. So here, for example, I've got the value that's stored in there. If I'd have done that, I could probably, you could do, for example, load HL with that. That'll put HL with the 16-bit memory address where that points, and then you could do load a HL and get the value of what's in the pointer. Only the accumulator can do that as well. No problem, Micro. Like I say, mine's only a beginner's take on it. For a technical description, unfortunately, I'm not your guy, but I can show you in use. Right, I was sidetracked, but I was glad I was, because it was a horrible little... Oh yes, I tried to get rid of that stupid thing, ID, and for some reason, let's try loading it again and just seeing, do they even appear? It seemed they didn't even appear. Maybe I'm just not drawing them. You know what? Let's set the border pink. If there's a collision, because even though the hearts aren't there, I just want to see if the collision was getting detected straight away. And no, it isn't. So why aren't they there? Oh look, see the collision detection is working perfect, and they're there. It appears after some time. Hang on, something weird's happening here. But I'd love to get rid of this ID. There they are. And then they work perfectly. I know what it is. I know what it is. This is what my failure of 2D of caveman debugging, as I call it. I put a 10 there, an extra 10, because I was scared of 4s. That's how caveman we're talking about. We're talking cave drawings, binary numbers, writing programs somehow, knocking them together with a chisel. This should work mint now though. I want to see these hearts. Come on. Yeah, I was scared of the 4. Here they are though. 4. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beauty to behold. Behold, we can take the heart. We're stealing. There's no enemies. We can just steal our hearts all day long. Look at it. It's fun. I'm telling you already. Without the enemies, it's still quite fun. Then obviously I need to do the total hearts thing. That's probably coming up in a minute. I'll exit level 2. I can't tell you how much progress that actually is compared to. I was almost giving up again earlier today on that. I wasn't sure whether IX was pointing in the right place, and I was checking line by line like over and over again, and I was having to flip between 4 files to do it, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe I should just end it here, but and go back to drawing a ball on the screen, bouncing around or something. Because I still haven't done that yet. That's another big lesson. You get the balls to actually bounce off the edge and be slow and fast and stuff. But that's beautiful. We've got rid of that rubbishy ID thing, which I knew was a superstition, but for some reason, both times we did that, it worked. I'm pretty sure I could get rid of it on the other ones as well with the hearts, but I'm not going to. Oh, that's fantastic. So, something on the to-do list is to clear that key press so that if they're holding it still, you have to somehow let go. If you think about it, it's just a series of balls, isn't it? When I press the F, I'm holding it in, I set a ball to true. But what happens if I had another ball that got also set to true, saying key press held? Then when I let go, I could set that back to false. And then I could check, is F pressed? And also, is it not held? I don't know how to do that, my man. I don't think there's any buffer. It's literally an input port that you read off immediately, and it just gives a 0 or a 1. And annoyingly, it gives a 0 when it's pressed and a 1 when it's not pressed for each key. But I've flipped them round anyway because I made an input routine that goes true when they're pressed, basically. Do you know what? I've just said it out loud how to do it, and I've sussed it out. So maybe I should add that. Where is that input routine? Key cacher. So here, I just set all keys to 0. Then I check for a key press every single loop. And just set them to true if they're true. But, let's say we also make the exact same lot. Well, actually, we only need to worry about F right now. dbf held. So this gets called every frame that it's held. So we can actually set it here. Oh, it's only F I'm doing.
and A will still be 1. I should probably set true, it just makes it more obvious what we're doing. I've done this before, I made that. And these might as well be false. They're balls, so I may as well. Oh yeah, I copied and pasted. I should have copied and pasted it a million times. So this time we don't want to reset that every frame. We only want to reset that if we find F is not held. Or not pressed, I should say. So if, what am I doing if? I think we can just do it in this key, in this check keys function. Key pressed F. Compare false. Call Z, which means if it is false, call reset F held. Reset F held. Load or X or A. Key pressed held. A. Return. I actually think that's going to work, you know. As soon as it finds that this key is not pressed, it calls the reset held kit function. Otherwise, that held will stay true. So now, when we do level 2, wherever we do it, I can't remember where we do it. Play, I think it was. Yeah, here where we check, are we pressing F? Return. If not, load A. Oh, do I need to do it 1 frame after? No matter. So if it is held, return out and don't work. So I think the only way I can think of making that do that is before we even XOR A and unset them, before we do anything, we'll find out if F is held. So there should be 1 frame where it gets pressed. Let's try that. If not, I might have to move that so that we have to set that separately. I think that's what we'll have to do actually. We probably can't even collect the hearts right now. No, we can't. Just do set F held. Load A true. Load held A. Turn. And instead of putting that in there, we'll do it right at the top here. If it is pressed, if it's true, set F held. Right, now there should be 1 frame, really, where F is set, but F held isn't. Oops. Damn it, still can't take them. Oh, did I put a return? No. I was going to say, did I return after that? Okay, I'll have to think of a better way. I think I'm on the right track with that though. Yeah, I don't think there's any buffer size. It's just literally an on-off switch. They're literally just bits as well. It's like one bit after another. There's 5 different keys. I'm actually a little bit surprised that didn't work because I wait. It's gonna hit this. It'll check that, but of course it may be happening. That's exactly what I was thinking, Micro. It must happen too quickly, and I was thinking about maybe separating these, but that will be a pain in the ass just to try because it's another one of them things. If it's not it, then you've got to go back and change it back. Because logically that should work, shouldn't it? It should, even if F is pressed. Let's say I start the game and I hold F the entire time. Even then, well, not the yeah, that could fail it actually. To be fair, but let's pretend you start right by a locker, the very first frame, and I was holding F. It should still fail because these balls will be false. They then get set to false again just to make sure. And only at this point here, after that, they check. And if that bit is the right one, right like setting, it sets F. So you'd think this gets called right at the start of the loop as well. I know it does, of the update loop. So then at that stage, it sets this one to be F, true, sorry. But nothing to do with this. Better direction up. If not, get out. F pressed, if not, get out. F held. This shouldn't make a difference, but I just want it makes more sense to have NZ in here, I think, because we're getting out of the. So if held is true, it won't work. And it doesn't work no matter what, yeah. So it's either happening too quickly or my logic is wrong. I'm just going to try changing it to NZ, so it should just work now by holding it. And it does. Oh, interestingly, the first tap doesn't work now. So it's almost like it was working. You have to hold it just for a split second there. It's bloody hard to get it not to. It's quite quick, but I think I can do it so you don't pick it up. Somehow waiting then is the key.
Ah. Do we ever set it to false? Reset. Not sure if we do or not. I can see it. If it's false. If it's not false, get out. Don't know, it's a bit of a weird double negative, but perfect. I'm holding it in. Now press it. It's funny, it's got that same sort of lag that the game has. Like there's obviously some thing with the spectrum where it's really cool. It feels a lot like the game. It feels freaking awesome, better than the actual game, to be honest. Fantastic. So how many hearts are there? 2, 4, 6, 8 times 4, 32. Oh, we should have been able to get out already. I wonder why we couldn't get out. Is there no victory conditions yet? I wonder why check victory is in player and not level. I think I'll just move it. That's better. It should have been named differently to match up with these. No biggie. In fact, let's change it. I think that's it. Let's check it works. Yeah, quick and easy. I love it. It's one of them times now where everything's flowing forwards. And really, we've done a lot of tidying up. Copying and pasting make level 3 won't be very hard. Also, they're going to have either desks or lockers in every level. You know, it's not like we have to do that again and make a new data type. I mean, there are some other things we've got to do. In level 2, there's some bins where you can get a basketball. Just walk up to it and press F. You get a basketball and it chucks it at the teacher. Then it stops them. Basketball doesn't really have any collision detection because it flies through any scenery and it just directly goes to the enemy. It never misses. You know, I have seen it miss, but I don't think it's supposed to. So we need a level 2 victory. It's pretty much the same thing.
Begin level 3 doesn't exist. In begin level 3, for now, I'll just call begin level 1. You might have to jump. Soon find out. So that doesn't even need to jump. That doesn't even need a return on me. Hopefully I don't get caught out with that later as well. Level 2 victory. Surely it needs a call to that in here somewhere. Oh, it's already there. Interesting how that was working then without even existing. I haven't put it in here, have I? Don't think so. Oops. What? Oh. Oh, it seems okay. So it should flash the sign when we collect all the hearts. Did I definitely get the right amount? I think so. Definitely don't work if you hold it now. That's fantastic. I've found a way of doing that. I've never done that before. Use that in a lot of games. It was pretty tidy code. No sign lighting up. It's not letting us out. I wonder why that is. That shouldn't even be needed. Same for one in here. Right, so I see the sign working in here first. Of course I know I need to clear the hearts at the back wall. They're going to not be there anyway. It's more caveman debugging that. That's 8. Oh, I know why. It's not going to work. I don't increment the hearts collected. It'll still be 0, won't it? Yeah. Do you know, we might have to do it completely differently and don't check hearts collected and just check the lockers and see if they're all empty. Because this is happening every frame, so if I increment hearts collected, we'll have a problem. I need to make sure that doesn't happen every frame. Actually, maybe not, actually. No. I think I'm completely fine to do that. Forgot to put the cheat on. Blip, 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 blip. It's all reset except for the hearts, that's good. Oh, I like this. This is fun. When there's enemies chasing you, like, that's going to be fun, and the bench is in the way, and there you go, it works. Bang, we're back in level 1. Look at that. Look at that. There's no hearts there, they need to be reset. Now we're cooking. I was going to draw the teacher, but it's been so long this session already. I'll just relax the rest of the night. I might come back on later. I always shut my window when I'm streaming, and it gets flipping hot in there sometimes. But I could do a cooling down. There's no way of getting through this level now because of that. I'll sort that out quickly. I basically do every night now, man. Nah, to be honest, my brain's pretty good at just shutting things off. I mean, I'm spending a lot of time coding at the moment, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'll soon, as soon as I switch off, I'll just watch some TV series. I won't even be thinking about this, you know. But it's actually, what's the word for it? I keep coming back to it. I do keep thinking, oh, I can't wait to go and do a bit of coding, you know, which is a good thing. That sounds like a good life there, Microman. That's like the target life. You just need like a little bit in the end of that label to say like increment money. That would be the perfect solution. Radiant and streaming on World of Warcraft. It's looking really good, Coda Mick. I'll show you in a sec. You've come at a very good time. Because we were just having a nightmare. I'll show you now. So I'll briefly run through what we fixed. It was the collision detection was causing me a nightmare on the trigger of the locker. We ended up just rewriting the Y section. That's a bit baffling to me where I've done that, but it essentially just adds a number if you look. So, and then we added an offset, and that was all that was actually needed. And then I've come up with a mechanism also of checking if we're holding a key. So I'll show you that. All we do is, before we do anything, we check if F is pressed, which is here. And if it is, we set it to held. That gives us one frame in between to do stuff before the held one gets set. So that works really well. And then we've just got, obviously, these functions setting it. And then you'll access it via this. So all you have to do is if that's true, do something. If not, do something else. Really good. And I'll show you in action now. So I've took the cheat off, so I'm going to have to go through and get these hearts. And I haven't actually reset them. When you get back to level 1, they're all still took. You can't get out. But we can sort that out easily. So that's that level complete. Through to the next level. Perfectly line up. You have to tap. Look, if I hold, I'll just get 1. So I have to tap. All these things I was wondering whether I had to just not do because I thought it would be too hard, but it actually just took 10 minutes. And eventually when you collect all the hearts, should flash up. Obviously we'll clear them hearts off the back wall, and there you go, it's flashing. And I've just set it so you go back to level 1 now, and that's basically the end of the game because you can't play on. But that's actually big progress because we were stuck for a very long time on that collision. You see, I knew the collision was working because the desks, they collide perfectly. So I calculated them absolutely perfectly, do you know what I mean? So I knew I had it sussed. But for some reason, I thought I was matching it up and it wasn't letting us out. In the locker, it wasn't connecting. I think I probably will take a break now. Yeah, cheers, Mike. Cheers, Mick. I've done like at least five and a half hours here today on stream. I've hit a point where here I can't think of anything immediate to do. No, 100% not. It was just like I've just sorted them problems out. It's a shame. The other day I did it. Well, when I first started streaming, I was playing Super Mario one night really late, and like I got raided by 14 people. But and we'd had like one viewer all night, you know, me and him just chatting the whole night. And I just said to the lad who was watching, "Oh, I'm gonna go off and as soon as I die, I'm tired." And he was like, "Yeah, good night." And then instantly raid 14 people. I'm like, "Oh, what the hell?" When I feel this tired. But I'm not that tired right now. I've just been coding a lot of hours today, and as I was about to explain, I can't really think of anything super quick I can add. I think I'm going to come back at about midnight, which is 1.5 hours, but I'll be mainly drawing like cruddy little sprites for the teacher, the cheerleader, the basketball bin. I'll draw the majority of the sprites we need, or at least placeholders for them, and then we can do some fun bits, which is like adding in the teacher who throws his teeth at you. Because at the moment it's been a lot of, for me it's been fun, but it's been mainly collision detection on desks and triggers for lockers and collecting hearts. It was all necessary, but we've been doing that for a very long time now without change. So I guess that's probably what I'll do next. Got to add that teacher in level 1.
World of Warcraft. I haven't played that for such a long time. I think it was like a 2D game only when I played it. I must admit though, anything with a subscription I just never played. I could never afford to even dream of paying for that. Oh, is that Warcraft? Yeah. I think it was online, but I think I returned it. It was one of them ones back in the day where you buy it from the store. Yeah, thanks, Micro Man. I'm here for a couple of minutes just chatting, and then I'll go off. Classic version, eh? I'll have to check it out sometimes because I'm liking my slower paced games now rather than just all action. I'd like to be able to use the strategy, and watch the sprites do it for me. Most of the games I play were adventure games, or either that or like really high skill games. Trying to think if I've played any other sort of game. Sports simulators I played a bit of as well. I always get bored of them pretty quick. Hockey's pretty fun. Awesome, yeah. That must cost a bomb though. And is that the one that you have to pay like £30 a month to be a member of? I suppose it's not that bad if you really enjoy it. Then it's worth it. Better than going out smashing out 50 quid on beers or whatever. 9.99 exactly. It's not bad if you enjoy it, man. I'm not knocking it at all. I just couldn't really justify it myself, as an expense. That's like basically the internet paid for, isn't it? That's just me. I'm a tight git. I tried to save money on this microphone. I was looking on eBay today for new microphones, but it's really hard to find the right one, and they look worse than the one I've got, most of them. Yeah, I think I would enjoy it nowadays. The older I get, I think I would enjoy a bit of RPG action. Going back a very long time, I used to love them Might and Magic, the dungeon crawlers. But I just lost my way with it. Just didn't play them. My brain as well, my memory never remembers names of things properly at all. It could even be like last week. Blue recording condenser. Let's have a look. What I'm going to do is, I'm still here, but I'm just loading Mikie on the screen because it gives me more chance to get a decent thumbnail on my thing without having to mess around. And then I will look at that condenser and have a quick chat about that. Because my one is a condenser, it said studio mic, but it doesn't even have any like gain switch on the actual mic or anything. I think that's the problem. So I'll click these hearts that don't look very good, and then I'll leave the ones that do look good. Try and get a screenshot. Thumbnail, I mean. Sneaky, Make him dance next to it. Woo! In fact, yeah, collect a couple of them. Just need an enemy in there now. I've got that as well. But like I say, the mic might be letting me down. But I was actually happy with it. For £20 off eBay, I've got this real robust looking arm thing. Really robust. I mean, I've put it through some paces already. Then the mic is a big fat mic, but I think it's just like maybe a sort of mutton dressed as lamb, But at least the arm is good. I mean, if I'd have gone down to town, I would have been happy getting the arm alone for 20 quid. I would take a picture, but my place is so ghetto. It's too embarrassing, man. I'm a dev. I'm just surrounded by screens and junk. Let's have a look at that condenser mic. I'm looking at it now. Oh, 120. Oh, a Blue Yeti. I saw that for 100 on eBay, to be fair.
Oh, it's down to 100, reduced to 100, is it? Pattern. I've heard people talking about this Blue Yeti. Is it good or does it just look good? USB, that might be the key. Mine's not even USB. Mine's got a bulky, like 3-pin adapter that leads into a standard headphone jack. That could be the reason, couldn't it? Yeah, the arm makes a big difference. At least I can get some sort of reasonable quality. If I'm looking in the right place and I get the gain level set just right, it sounds really good. But as soon as I'm like, 3 or 4 inches in the wrong direction or position, that's why I've got to have the gain cranked up, and then it gives that sort of echoey, reverby, sort of clippy sort of noise. Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe I could tweak them and get them sounding a bit better, but who has the time? Really, it's really hard. I obviously did try to do lots of different recordings and stuff. Sometimes I do a recording, it sounds really good, and then I leave everything the same, and it sounds crap. I guess it's because I was sitting in a slightly different position, and the mic's quite sensitive. I'm gonna try it. I am definitely buying a new mic. I hope this Blue Yeti's good. Maybe there's better ones to be had for £100. I don't know. World's #1 premium USB mic. I mean, if I buy it from a reputable source, I could always send it back if it's not a big improvement, couldn't I? Yes, I think that'll be the one I go for. I've had 2 people recommend that now. I'm just leaving them there, hopefully get a good screeny. I'm going to take a break shortly. I hope you're still around later because I do plan to come back in just over an hour. In other words, time to go and make a drink, open my window and watch a bit of Star Trek and then come back on. If I'm going to be truthful. But the little breaks help. I came back and I sorted out that problem quite quickly, The little breaks definitely help. It's scary when you're streaming and you're 3 hours in and you haven't you've been on the same problem for an hour. It's not a nice feeling. Amazon select about, yeah, that's fair play. But then again, an extra 20 quid is quite a lot on 100 quid, isn't it? If you actually think about it. I mean, most of eBay are alright. If you got someone with like 200,000 positive feedback, 0 negative. I felt bad on the one I bought mine off because I had to go at him at first and said, "This sounds like my headset. Like, what the hell?" I wrote in studio condenser mic. Why has this come up? And then I thought about it and I thought it was 20 quid with the arm. What did I expect? You know what I mean? I'll put a link on it. I'll get the link of the exact one I bought. "15-second og." Let's hear this then. Oh, is that what it sounds like? Yeah. We'll probably hear it now on my desktop audio. My internet is very, very slow. I won't load it on the screen because I'm going to go into my own eBay.
Target breaks in 15 seconds. Target breaks in 15 seconds. Target breaks in 15 seconds.
Bricks. I mean, it's not bad, is it? I'm not a big sound guy, like I can't tell a quality of sound when I hear it. Just out of interest, I'll show you the one I've got. I'll drag a link. Oh god, it's making me register, sign in. Every single time. Can we take your phone number? Yeah, £18.74. I mean, I feel bad about having a go at the guy. It's black and gold as well. It looks really nice. I'll show you it now. Does this work? Oh god, it's one hell of a link. Yeah, it was quite bassy, that one. Maybe that's good for him. Yeah, I was thinking it sounded a bit too bassy, but I think the key for me is being able to sit a slight bit further away from it and still have it pick it up decently without having to crank the gain. Because I have mine, you have Windows gain, don't you? And I've got that set on to near enough the highest setting. And then the OBS one I've just got slightly boosted again. But when I look at the one I bought, it's got like the frequencies and all that. It actually does look decent. I remember I'd spent some time before I bought it. I didn't just buy the first one I saw. I was disappointed when I got it and it didn't sound brilliant straight away. I need some tips from a pro. You know, where do I sit? How do I set it up above my ear? You know, is it just above my head or what? Or below it, or just things like that. I'll gradually learn it because it is very important. I think there is like a core percentage of people that hear the mic not perfect and just turn it off. Oh yeah, soft tricks. I didn't even, oh, it's another one of them. JPEG. Ho ho ho. That's what you call a setup, man. I'm surrounded by screens, but it doesn't look nothing like that. I've got a nice screen, like a 1440p, 100 and whatever hertz. But at the moment, my computer's so crap, it's running at 60 hertz. And then I've got like a 42-inch plasma, also linked up as a second screen. So it's pretty ghetto, like I said. The computer's there behind it with no lid, and the graphics card's hanging out of it because it wouldn't fit with the box shut. It's as ghetto as you can get, but you know what? It's working. I've been deving on it. I've been streaming, gaming, streaming. I even had a 1080p freelancer stream going on, and Kingpin. You know, it looked pretty fantastic. I can't go any further than that. I tried. You know, I tried loading other more intensive games. Elite Dangerous. It might actually work. For some reason, that game is very well optimized. Works well on my system. Yeah, I do modelling. Do you know what? I used to do modelling and I went into Maya. It actually works on this machine when you keep it simple. But I couldn't even remember how to extrude, loop cut. Everything had gone. I couldn't remember any of it. I used to be able to make whole cars, you know, that looked almost identical to the actual real car, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, I will video it for sure, man. Okay. Is it loud? I hope it's not too loud. Nah, it's gonna be good. Cool. What a setup. I'm jealous. I mean, the RGBs in the background would probably drive me insane. Literally insane, I mean, by the end of it. I'm one of them, I actually like a well-lit room. Otherwise I end up dropping my backy everywhere and stuff. Oh, I see the mic just poking into here at the end. Your setup doesn't look too different to mine with the mic, the location. And I've made sure it's pointing in the right direction and all that stuff. You got more RGB back there as well. Brilliant. I like the tablet with the Windows tablet or whatever that is. I've never seen one of them. Is that like a Windows 10 tablet? It looks like it is.
Your stream's going to be pro, man. I wish I could ever I don't think I'll ever get to that level. I mean, I couldn't fit it in my room for a start, so I'd have to actually get a better flat. Luckily, the way I see it, and I might be wrong, but if you're developing live, who needs to see picture in picture, really? Don't need to see my face. It's not like, I can understand if you're a gamer and people like to see the reaction of the gamer and they like to talk to him. But with the dev, I remember watching another assembly dev on C64, and he's a sound guy, but you think his face is there the whole time. You just think, is it really needed? Like, it's just blocking some of the screen. What's the point in it? But he's probably wise. You look at the top 100 streamers in every category, and they've all got their face on there, you know. So I think it is wise to do it. I'm certainly not bothered about having my face on the cam, but I must admit I don't really want people who I know already to actually find my channel out. There is some people that could troll me quite badly. Yeah, I'll just stick as it is, and it's good enough. It's only for fun, really. I'd love to be able to get the affiliate, you know, where I have 3 viewers average, and then I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind the camera on. I mean, my headphones are terrible. They look so goofy. I'd have to buy some new headphones, and I'd have to sort my room out somewhat. But I could do it, especially with a green screen. Just have a green screen behind you, kind of. All hell breaking loose behind it, and no one knows. Yeah, I was considering doing some gaming tonight. I mean, but I think I'll go off, watch a little bit of TV. Always put a picture in your chat. Haha, fair play. You should, man. You'll get much more views by doing that for sure, and you'll be more relatable to your audience and everything. So, of course, you'd be a fool to advise against doing that. But I do think, with that being said, for dev particularly, it's not as important. People are more interested in the code and the end result of the game, I reckon. Say that again, hang on. I'll not link my Twitch, as I avoid doing stuff like that, as it's cheeky. Oh, you can do that, of course, here, man. Feel free. We're like a network of retro gamers. The way I see it, I get funny when people, if I like, I've been a member of a YouTuber's channel for many years, and he had 400 subscribers when I joined, maybe 500. Now he's got like 3,000, so it's a slow growth. It's about 6 years. But I occasionally drop in because I've just started streaming, you know, and I've been chatting there for ages. I just say about my stream, but I can tell he gets funny about it. And I think we're meant to stick together, dudes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really like there's room for everyone. I understand if you're really getting ripped off by someone's doing everything you're doing and trying to say they're better than you, and literally personally attacking you. That'd be different. No, I mean, same with my Discord. You can sign in there and you can just put your links every single day if you want, for all I care. You can fill up the whole thing with your links. It's better than no content whatsoever going in, if you ask me. I mean, not many people are using my Discord right now, including me, so I doubt it's going to get very popular because I don't use Discord a lot. It is. It's important to see all the panels. I agree. Yeah. In that other dude I was talking about, he's like an older dude. He definitely knows what he's talking about.
I think he even created one of the emulators or something back in the day for N64 or Amiga or something. But yeah. Oh yeah, I know it is, mate. But by all means, feel free here. I mean, the way I look at it is, if you're open to people doing that, that will actually bring some people into my channel just to sort of promote their own stuff. And also, there might be a chance that they mention me in one of their streams. You know, even better. It's like a network thing. You know, that's how business works, isn't it? At the end of the day, it can't be like a closed, like a North Korea version of a person. It'll be like the USA. Welcome everyone. Be like Canada. Yeah, they do. I noticed it on that guy on YouTube. Like, I mean, I've even donated to his channel and everything. I wouldn't have thought a couple of comments about my next stream would have hurt him, but I could tell he didn't like it, and he didn't say anything, probably because I donated. But I could tell he wasn't comfortable with it, so I stopped. But I don't know. It's silly, really, because I'm coding and he's playing retro games. It was like a good combo, if you ask me, to refer each other. I'm going to join a part of a network soon. I'm sure they are around. My friend used to play like PUBG and one other game on Twitch, and he went from 0 to like 300, not subscribers, followers within about a month, just by joining this gamer network where it was a genuine network. You know, there was about 20 of them, and they just all recommend each other and all that every time they're streaming. But it does seem to work, that approach. I'm sure you can probably do it with your World of Warcraft. If you've already played it that long, you can probably get connected with someone who's got a pretty hefty stream. Exactly, man. Perfect idea. See, I don't have the energy for that. I thought about doing that, but I did it for like 1 or 2 nights, and I found that it really did drain my energy, that extra bit, and I sort of gave up on it. Exactly, Mick. It's a bloody network here. It shouldn't be like. I mean, yes, it's a competition at the top end. Of course it is. When you've got like under 10 viewers on average, you know, we're all in the same boat, pretty much. Okay. I'm thinking about making a website when I've got some full projects. Some people will click it, having never watched Twitch in their life. Do you know what I mean? And then they'll read it and think, "Oh, I could have watched it." YouTube, I'd love to build up. You know, if I can get enough on YouTube, because that's obviously you could not sign in to YouTube for 2 years if you've made a good enough channel and still make money. But I am super duper focused on finishing this game and then releasing it as an actual tape file with a cassette cover and all that, you know, that you can download. Maybe even a physical release. If you make a good enough game, do a physical release. Wouldn't that be funny? Like a professionally printed cassette cover. and the game comes on a cassette for like what, say 12 quid or so, including postage. You'd probably make about £1 out of each one, but it would be good advertising. Discord. Oh, thanks, man. I need to start joining more of them, don't I? Thank you, man. It's like having the time, like I was just saying about the other thing. I can't wear myself out too much. I do a full-time job, then I stream, and I do obviously a bit of coding in the background, a bit of gaming in the background. I just couldn't find the time. I do the odd tweet and stuff like that, but I wanted to join a network of people who are like-minded channels, but it's finding them, innit? This looks like a good one, gaming careers. What I've done is I've subscribed to him now, and hopefully that'll remind me. I don't want to open Discord right now. I've got this one subscriber. I've just gone into YouTube. I've got this one guy who, it says every day, new subscriber, his name. Every day though. I don't know what to make of that. Is he trying to tell me something? Like, I'm actually subscribed to him. Yeah. I don't want to use his name. That's a bit much. But I mean, it's all public. It's there to be seen. If someone was going looking. Most odd. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I'm thinking about unsubscribing from him, maybe, just to see what that does. But maybe it's some way of trying to get me to watch his videos or something. I don't know. Oh, do you? How do you manage all the chats? And also, do you pay for the Prime on Streamlabs, or have you set that up yourself? Because to do that, I'd have to pay Prime on Streamlabs. But of course, there's a way to do it for free if you know what you're doing. Multi-stream tab on OBS. Is that free? Yeah. You don't have to pay for that plugin. Interesting. Does that use any more bandwidth? Or do you just upload to one proxy? Okay, I used to use OBS. I recently changed to Streamlabs just to get all this chat box and alert box and all that. Should have stuck with OBS. Because it definitely charges you to stream multiple streams. Excellent. I mean, OBS tells you the percentage of the processor, doesn't it? Mine is like 70% when I'm streaming, do you know what I mean? Just for the stream. That's why I have to reduce what I'm doing all the time. Yeah. Superb. Yeah, my computer struggles. Like I say, I have to drop it down to 720p for some games. And I can't put it over 20 FPS either on the video. Like I've got away with it on NES emulator if I put it to 60 FPS, but I have to put it to 720p still for that. Otherwise it's just dead. But it's no biggie. I could get another computer tomorrow. I've got enough in the bank. The thing is, it's nice to have money in the bank just in case, isn't it? So I want more money first before I go and spend like £800 on a computer. Twitch encoding. Yeah, I mean, I must admit I'm over all of their recommendations here. You know, like I exceed what they recommend me to do by a long way. But it works for the coding because not much changes. You don't notice it's a low FPS. I'm really happy with the progress we've made here as well. should put the cheat back on. I mean, what? I'm just going to have to do the enemy next. There's nothing else I can do, really. The only other thing I could do that's like a medial task is put the benches in here in the middle that get in your way. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to get off now. Give myself an hour-ish and come back on. I'm going to do some drawing and add in some random, just something random. Yeah, there's let's go back in. There's something happening with the double buffer because it's only happening on the right side of the screen, isn't it? Particularly in the locker screen, you see it. And I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the double buffer. Either I'm hoping I've got the wrong constant because I've got like seg0, seg1, seg2 or whatever. And I'm hoping just one line I've got it's there, isn't it? On the right there. Do you see it's missing from one heart and then it's drawn all the way down there where it should be hearts above. But I can live with that for now. I'm 99% sure it's caused by this in double buffering where we grab all the screen data and we only do half a line at a time. So literally one of these segments is written wrong. That's what I'm pretty sure, or it might even be one of them. But I think it's this whole segment. So I've got, basically I said I was going to do it, but I didn't. But I'm going to get on like Star Trek or something, and when I'm bored I'm just going to browse through every line and check that it's right. Luckily I commented it really well, so I can actually match it up with the comments. Somewhere I'm going to see, it'll be in seg 1. Somewhere in here we've got seg 2 written instead of seg 1. That's what I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, there's always a possibility it's some other bug with the drawing code, but I don't think so, because we draw to a buffer, and then this moves the buffer to the screen. I guess I'd say it's character 03 because it looks about halfway through the segment. I'll quickly browse. If I see it, it'd be great, but yeah, it makes for a boring video. That's why I probably will do this just while I'm watching TV. Check every single line really carefully. I mean, there's probably an easy way of checking with finding with the find. Whoopsie! What the hell have I done there? It tells you how many there are. I think there is only meant to be 128. Oh no, there's 129 of them as well. So maybe I'm not right. But it could be something else. It was a whole segment though. It was a whole segment out. I don't know. Maybe it is a timing. Like if the timing changes and then it gets to the wrong line or something, you know. But it's weird how it only does it on that one little line there. To get around it, I might just try moving the lockers and see what that does. It'll help us see the segment, like if it's segment related. Level 2. I'll just move them up 2 cells. I said up. Just down minus.
And then if not, I'm going to try, but it's probably a bad idea. I wonder, are they definitely character cells? Because that might cause it if it wasn't locked. No, it is. It's divisible by 8. Oh god, I need that cheat. It's going to be fun this though, honestly, I can tell already it's pretty unique. Weird. I'm going to have to zoom it. Okay, so this time the heart's okay, but that line is still there under one of the... So strange. Yeah, I've still got time for Star Trek. But if I end this within a couple of minutes. Then I'll be nice and fresh to... When I get back, I'll be fresh to... I'm going to add, like... The first thing I'm going to add is the bin in level 2. You walk up to the bin and you get a basketball. So that's quite a fun thing to add, and there's no animation needed or anything. So I can just draw a bin and a basketball and then do more coding. Yeah, that's me done. Over 3 hours. This is like the longest video yet, I think. There maybe was one for 4 hours last week. But not a lot got done in that one either. We actually did a lot in this. We've got the entire locker room working. We already had the desk with the stools working. So now we've just got to rotate through the levels. One time there's desks, next time there's lockers. After that you just walk around and the hearts are on the floor. So that's the next level for level 3. Level 4 is much the same because the hearts are just on the floor in a different order. So we're getting there. We're nearly done. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is adding a bin into level 2, where you can get out of it and spawn basketballs and chuck them at the enemy. But we won't be able to chuck them anyway until we create the enemy. So maybe I have to create an enemy as well. And I am definitely off now. Thank you very much for watching, Coda. And if you get time, come back and watch again. Transfer. Yeah, I'll definitely be there, man. If you're still awake, have a little chill, watch some progress gradually getting made on the game. I'll see you then. It's going to be roughly 1 hour from now. I'll see you soon.